Welcome to Loc Nation. This is going to be a very oldie but goodie, a very interesting topic, proclaimed by fellow, my new friend, who I hope she appears today because she's the one that actually brought it up. I mean, my plan was to do more Umar videos, but since she brought something up, I kind of figured like, maybe you ought to do something a little bit different. But welcome to the show. What we do about all this time, Simple Things was just here a little bit a while ago. Shouts out to Simple Things. Simple things, doing some simple things. Thank you, appearing sis. I love her channel. She's very peaceful. Not like other freaking channels that aren't so peaceful in the world, but and still got my name in their mouth. It's kind of a thing where you don't appear in these old dried out sectors, but they still have a figment of their imagination for you. I mean, it's so crazy, but I'm honored. I mean, if it gets me views, it gets me views, but I am so honored and so blessed that you would be this crazy and distracted from your personal life to still have my name in your fucking mouth. That's just beautiful. Oops, I did tell my friend that I was going to tone down the cussing. So I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my very best. But meantime, in between time, okay, where was I? Oh yeah. Well, I gotta do some family things. You know those. You know that it happen to do with a wife and two children. Just throw that out there. Because some people, some women need men, a husband, one of those. But I'm just gonna play this little clip before I get in trouble. But you remember this face?
Wealth did attract 800 years of history in very systematic terms to show you every strategy, every technique, every law.
You remember this face, right? I believe his name is Dr. Claude Anderson. Doll Eyes, how are you? How's everything going on your neck of the woods, my dear? Okay, the topic of today, love thy enemy. But before I get there, I gotta go handle some business real quick, but because my wife is meeting me up the steps and I gotta carry some groceries in there for her. So enjoy this wonderful clip, Dr. Claude Anderson.
It intentionally maldistributed all the resources away from black folk and created a real life monopoly game. Black folk in America are playing in a real life monopoly game that you're totally ill prepared to play and win. And if you know anything about monopoly is based on everybody sitting down and getting a fair share of the resources and money in their hand before the game starts. Black folk, you can't play because you never got your 40 acres and a mule. You're sitting playing a game that you're not going to win. And if you know anything about monopoly, the primary principle is to go around the board and take the money that you have and buy land, and buy the best land around the board. And if you can't buy land, then you buy businesses like electric company, the railroad, and the water company. And you buy your land, and when you develop your land, you put houses on it. And once you could receive enough rent from people landing on your houses, you then take your money and buy hotels. And then after you buy the hotels, you sit there and wait for all the rest to come around and land on your property and bring some wealth and power home to you. And see, my people have been playing real life monopoly with no money, going around the board hoping the world that they can land on free park and income tax and charity. And you play that kind of a game in real life monopoly, sooner or later you're going to land on the wrong property. And you land on the wrong property in monopoly, you got two choices. You either go to jail or you go bankrupt and get out of the game. And black folk are playing in a real life monopoly game. And I wrote Black Labor, White Wealth to tell you exactly what the game was and how you're not playing it right. And then I followed that up with another book called Powernomics, says now that tracks and picks up exactly where black labor, white wealth left off. And I'm delighted by the fact that black folk took that book, Black Labor, White Wealth, and went to Geneva, Switzerland, and filed for reparations around the world. And that book then sets the premise of what your problem is in America. In America, your problem is simple. You do not own and control anything of wealth and resources. You do not own and control anything more than 1/2 or 1% of anything important in the society. And yet, by the same token, you're bearing 600 to 800 times your fair share of everything that's bad. And consequently, we cannot play and win, and people wonder why black folk live the way they do, why every black neighborhood looks like Beirut bombed out. It's that way because we do not own and control any resources and never have. And so in Powernomics, I said, if you're going to play the game, here's a book that I've systematically analyzed all the conditions around the world with all of my experiences, not only in government and in education, but also as a safety and survival engineer for the Marine Corps, where I had to try to deal with our prisoners coming out of POW camps. Here's how you play the game and win in Powernomics, the national plan to empower black folk. That book and all those books are going to be in the rear room and to be for you to purchase this morning. But most importantly, the third book that I wrote was called Dirty Little Secrets About Black History, Black Heroes, and Other Troublemakers.
All right. Thought I'd just get that out there. First and foremost, I would like to dedicate this particular topic to a friend of mine, Marie. Now, hopefully she will be here today, but if not, I mean, the train don't stop. The train don't stop. It's going to keep on rolling. It's just going to keep on rolling, baby. Now, here, shall we love thy enemy, meaning, shall we, as black folks, get along with our enemy? Well, I know we've been doing that for a full clip now, right? Of course, I mean, you got best friend, you got friends that are white. I got friends that are white. I got associates who are white. I got, my best man was white when I got married, because we've known each other for so long and we've been best friends for so long. But am I to be naive? Let's be fair about this. If shit were to go down today, will my best friend stand by me? Will my best friend fight for me, or will my best friend fight for me and my culture? Those are the questions that we should ask ourselves. Now, the whole racial dating thing. If you don't have a problem with racial dating, then fine. Just don't cry wolf when they hem you up or when they blow the whistle and say, enough, nigga. Vis-a-vis Candace Owens. Oops. What happened with Candace? What happened with Candace Owens? I guess she got fired from a radio station or something. She got fired from some type of program or something. I don't know. I don't follow her. But everybody's getting this story about Candace Owens. But Candace Owens, candidly, is a coon, in my opinion. A very good educational coon. Just like many people before her. Clarence Thomas's. Who's that one? Who's that one other wannabe judge? His name escapes me. But at any rate, you know, the Dave Shapiro's, all the Nick Fuentes's, all of them are some white supremacist freaks. Never heard from her until they dumped her. And when she got dumped, she would call what what's my brother's name? Paul Mooney. What my boy Paul Mooney would say, that Candace Owens got her nigger wake up call. Just like so many of the others. You like Candace? Why? We're all fair around here. What is a couple of things that you like about Candace? I said it from the beginning. She's very, very smart. She is very, very intelligent. But all those degrees ain't gonna get you nowhere in white society. Her I mentioned that. Her boldness, yes. She is very bold, yes, indeed. Intelligence, yes, I said that too. But here's the thing. What did she do to get out of why did they get her out of the situation that she was in? Why did they dress her up, put her clothes back on, and just threw her bags to the curb? Why did they do that? One of them, what I heard, it was slandering of the Jews, but it was something else. Something far more worse. Little hat people. Yes, the little hat people. The ones with the big black beards. Yes, those people. Yes. Why did they boot her up out of there? Because they stayed on code. They pretty much stayed on code. And that's what they're supposed to do. And that's what's something that we need to do as black people, is we need to stay on code. But nowadays everybody's a free agent. What does stay on code mean? Man, black people do way more work than white folk do. They do way more work than white folk do. So all the little it's just like I tell people who want to have a tough time trying to find black women to date. I always go, out of all the fish in the sea, you can't find another black woman to date? I'm tired. Well, we're tired of you. Pretty much. We are tired of you. But I think another friend of mine, We-On-Loc, we will never be on code. I wonder why. You know why we will never be on code? because of all these other ideologies that keep coming out to the surface. And the things that we go through on a day-to-day basis. We can't even sniff at the idea of creating a supermarket for our children to eat raw fruit. Too much individualism. Too much individualism. Too much demonizing people. Too much doubt. And too much of, when am I going to get my $5 back, bro? When am I going to get my $5? When am I going to get my $5 back? I gave you $5 yesterday. When am I going to get my $5? Take your funky $5. We had to deal with that. We had to deal with all the, you too old. You too old. We got our resources. You just mad because we got resources, bro. We got more better resources. You have to work day and night and day. I don't even have to get up out my house, bro. Oh, you mean the same information and the same jobs that white people don't want and to give to their colleagues every day? You talking about those particular jobs that they barely give you any time. Your paychecks be coming up real small, because if that wasn't the case, then why are you online? Why are you online? Some of you are begging for cash apps, super chats, all that Google is distorted. You're distorting your consciousness each time you go to Google. And every time you lay down with that white devil, you distort consciousness. Every time you shake hands with the enemy, you distort consciousness. Umar Johnson had to do what he had to do because the first thing he did was give our people a chance. This is chess. This ain't checkers. I miss the George Floyds. I miss the Michael Browns. I miss the Jordan Davises of the world. But we have to, let me turn that down. We have to constantly defend ourselves. Now it's come down to age. It's come down to generation. This generation don't like this generation. I say I want us. You know what? Let's just all bone each other and get HIV. No, I was playing. Holla, Miss Nebraska in the building. Now, let me show you this little clip, shall we, of your girl, Kansas, Owens, and why she got booted up out of there.
About when you speak about me like that and make it seem like I'm sorry, let me use your words here, lack of knowledge or lack of wisdom. How do you think the public perceives that when I'm the one that's being attacked?
I'm not concerned about how the public perceives it or not. Okay. What I'm concerned about is if you believe, and I cannot judge this because I'm not aware of 2 years. I don't follow. Okay, just my life is too busy. I got a congregation and teenagers and all sorts of things. If you believe that Shmuley Boteach and his daughter are doing things that are attacking you on a personal level, not attacking your persona, not attacking what you do. I'm not calling you as anti-Semite, is attacking you for how you act, not attacking you as a human being. Please understand there is a difference of who we are and how we are.
She dropped out of college.
Wait, please let me finish. If
okay, go ahead.
Is attacking you, if he is attacking you on any personal way, that doesn't mean it's okay for you to attack him. You know better than that.
Ooh.
Now, did you just hear what he said? He's talking about the other Jewish rabbi now. And he just told her, you know, if he, simply because he attacked you, that doesn't make it okay for you to attack him. Let me play it again.
A human being. Please understand there's a difference of who we are and how we are.
She dropped out of college.
Wait, please let me finish. If Shmuel
okay, go
is
ahead.
attacking you, if he is attacking you on any personal way, that doesn't mean it's okay for you to attack him. You know better than that.
By the way, fella, it's not great for a white man to be telling a black woman, including the bed wench, you know better than that. But then again, in her case, she got it coming. Folks, yes, I'm playing for you his words here. I told you he is achieving the physically impossible. He's like the Green Lantern Corps. He's turning Candace Owens into the good guy here. He is more unreasonable and whacked out than she is. This fella is a cheat. I'm convinced she paid him. She had to have compensated him to come in here and say this insanity juxtapositioned against her. It's too damn easy to show how unhinged she is. And yet he comes in here to hold my beer. Watch me do a handstand on my eyelashes. No, seriously.
Shouts out to Jason Black and the Black Authority. Shouts out to that brother.
I mean, this fella is amazing. I mean, just when you think that the most outrageous stuff you're going to hear is going to be from her, here he jumps up. He's just like, oh, let me wipe the slate clean.
Oh, by the way, did we not forget about the thing that she had said about Hitler? Did we not forget? Hold on. She said I knew it. Hey, I gotta get the big guns out, girl. I gotta get the big guns out, you know? But let's all travel back in time about 4 or 5 years ago. What the wonderful thing that she said about Hitler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In congressional hearings, the minority party gets to select its own witnesses. And of all the people the Republicans could have selected, they picked Candace Owens. I don't know Miss Owens. I'm not going to characterize her. I'm going to let her own words do the talking. So I'm going to play for you the first 30 seconds of a statement she made about Adolf Hitler.
I agree. I actually don't have any with the word nationalism. I think it gets definitely poisoned by elitists that actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want. So when you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. You know, he was a National Socialist. But if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. Problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German, everybody to be speaking German.
All right, so my first question is to Ms. Hirschenoff. Ms. Owens said, quote, if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. So when people try to legitimize Adolf Hitler, does that feed into white nationalist ideology?
It does, Mr. Liu. I know that Ms. Owens distanced herself from those comments later, but we expressed great concern over the original comments.
Great, thank you.
Ooh, 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 ooh. They expressed great concerns. The woman doesn't know what she's talking about. You mean all of a sudden you read one book and you're the Rocky Gibraltar of Hitler now? In Nazi Germany? What happened back then? Really? It's like me reading the Bible, one book. I read Genesis. I read Revelation. And all of a sudden, I am the Rock of Gibraltar of the biblical texts. Go to Revelations 10 and 12. Hellfire and brimstone. It don't work that way. And like I said, I don't know that sister personally. I mean, some would put her in the category of her name escapes me once again. The one that was married at the hip of Donald Trump. I forgot what her name was. I had her name in my mouth, but I can't get it out. I cannot get it out. I'll get it out soon. One of y'all gonna remember. She's dark chocolate. She's black, dark chocolate, very facetious, but she can get some shit done. And she was on Donald Trump's hip until she ended up Rosa Parks. Rosa something, I forgot. But anyway, I'm not comparing Candace Owens to anyone. But the situation, Omarosa was a bit of a beast until she got caught up in some shit. It's almost the exact identical situation as Candace Owens. Almost damn near the same identical situation. Listen, if you love these people just like you love Clarence Thomas's, just like if you love the Shapiros, if you love the Andrew Yangs, if you love all these particular people that are in Congress, then by all means, when they get in office, please vote for these people. I dare you. I double dog dare you. How far will it get you? I mean, we just immediately want to shake hands with these people who clearly don't have your best interest. But what do I know? What do I know? Okay, I'm just going to shut up. She said... I had to go back to that one. She said, "Oh, you had to play that again." I had to. Jason Black, would you rather me play the Black Authority? Not the Black Authority. I'm sorry. Would you rather me play Professor Black Truth? I believe he's a little bit more hardcore than Jason Black, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Anti-Semitism's whatever I want it to be. Well, just because we attack you doesn't mean you can attack us. And dude, do you hear yourself? Do you hear yours? I'm convinced he does. He's this is upside down world. Is he off his meds? Dude. So clearly he didn't think this over before he said anything. He didn't think a damn thing over. Let me go ahead and skip forward. They're back to talk. He's at the end of the interview. He's back to drilling her about, was October 7th uniquely evil? He's trying to make it where this is some really special, really unique event. We lost more people on 9/11. And I'm not saying that either one is good, but what I'm saying is He keeps trying to classify that as a unique thing. Oh, well, this is unique in human history. Sir, that's an insult to our intelligence. That's an insult to our conscience for you to say that. Was it wrong? Sure. Evil? Absolutely. But to try to sit up here and say this occupies some unique space so you get special dispensation, dude, this isn't overreach. This is just not thinking.
You asked it. I'm ready to answer it. I think it was evil, and if you feel it's uniquely, we've bombed a million Iraqi civilians. You're talking about just like if you're weighing against civilian costs. And again, I think how you said about when you read you watch the Passion of the Christ, and you have, your eyes when you watch it, and I have my Christian eyes. Very difficult for me to say when the greatest Holocaust that ever happened was against Christians and what the Bolsheviks did to us, drowning us in barges. I cannot discount the things that have happened to Christians. We are actually the most persecuted religion in the world, and it's never described as uniquely evil. And so what happened on October 7th is evil, full stop. What has happened in the past to Christians, what is happening currently to Christians in Armenia, it's evil. So your feeling that it's unique is probably, I want to recognize it, but I don't want to sit here and pretend that
I make a simpler question then.
I minimize what I've been through. I mean, unique evils, slavery. I'm a Black woman. I mean, there's tons of things that have happened, and I don't want to pretend that I think that when it happens to Jews, it's somehow more evil or more unique than when it happens to other groups all around the world.
I'm going to ask you a specific, simpler question. Do you believe there is a qualitative difference between what was done on October 7th and the horrible tragedies that are going on in Gaza, with children being used as human shields and dying and being killed, with all of that? There are tragedies going on in Gaza we both agree on. Do you believe that there is a radical difference between what happened October 7th and what is going on there? Or do you believe that there is really not a moral and huge qualitative difference? It's one or the other.
How it's happening is different. There's no question that it's different.
It's evil just the same way.
Children, innocent children dying. If the consequence of children is dying, of course it is an evil thing for innocent children to be dying.
Do you believe? Okay, so I want to make sure I'm hearing.
So he's trying to get special consideration. Say, yes, what's happened to us is uniquely evil. All right. I want to go back.
So let me get a stab at this one. And I want you in the chat to help me out. So what this is saying to me is Candace Owens got caught with her hand in the cookie jar by stating that what happened in the Holocaust is not, or what happened with Black folks is not the same as what happened in the Holocaust? Question mark. Or it's all equal. That is. Now tell me if I'm wrong, because we can go through this again. Yes. Please join and become a member. Please. Oh, please. Come and join them. So let me get this straight. Again, I might be wrong. I'm not a politician. I need to get into my politics. Is this woman saying that this was equal? Or is she saying it is not equal? Maybe this other clip would help suffice it a little bit more. Because again, I'm not up on my politics as of late. I need to be. I really need to be.
Ben Shapiro, who works with her at the Daily Wire, about the Israel-Hamas conflict. They also talked about Nikki Haley's appalling attacks on free speech. Now, Owens has claimed that Shapiro was the one who crossed the line with ad hominem attacks. Let's watch.
I can't respond to it on a level of intellect because there's nothing that he has expressed in that, at least in that short clip, that he fundamentally disagrees with in terms of what I said. But I will say that I'm not going to respond with the same ad hominem attacks.
Yes.
I don't think it helps further discussion. And if that was me that was caught on a video saying that about colleagues that I work with, I would be embarrassed. So I think that the video speaks more to Ben's character than it speaks to mine.
The two then discussed Nikki Haley's authoritarian positions on privacy online. Owens accused Haley of not really running for president, but running for positions in the private sector afterwards. Let's take a look.
Well, Nikki Haley is someone that I would describe as radical. She's a radical in this moment, and she's trying to present her opinions as not radical by hiding behind a terrorist attack, and it's not going to age well. So right now in this moment, people are like, this rhetoric is totally fine. You're going to look back in a year, and people are going to say, actually, this was kind of crazy, some of the things that she said. You know, she, in my view, has become increasingly radical every time she even hits the debate stage. I don't even know what country she's running for president in.
Right.
And I think Vivek Ramaswamy called her out accurately, and based on even my own personal experiences with her, which I've documented on my podcast, as somebody who isn't looking to actually win president, doesn't want to become president of the United States. What she's looking to do is to secure certain contracts after she leaves the stage. And
wow. So she's spilling beans. In my humble opinion, again, I'm not a politician. I don't follow politics. I think politics is a sham, and trying to get black folks to vote Republican, which most of us are Democrat. The poor are always going to be Democratic. The rich are always going to be Republican. What the freak difference does it make if you're a Republican or a Democrat? You're going to get screwed one way or the other, in my form of opinion. In my opinion.
She loses.
So as we talked about yesterday, this was all prompted by a video of Ben Shapiro.
I don't know.
Coming from that first TikTok.
It's on the board or something. It's him and Jeremy Boring. And I believe Jeremy Boring took on national security on the right. There is the
This says nothing. Let's just go back to the original.
Interview, and I want to play something. And Candace, we are now shifting from me just talking about this to observing this as a teaching moment. That's what we're going to do right now.
And we're here, ladies and gentlemen, we're here just to kill a little bit of time and waiting for our precious guest to arrive, and so we can have a debate, have a real nice, calm, cool, and collected debate on why should we, as black folks, love our enemy. Why? I just want to know. And for those who don't have like to share history, as we seldomly don't like to do anymore, because they often say, well, what the hell is history? It has nothing to do with us. Oh, the hell it doesn't. It's like my old man used to tell me, those who do not look into their history are doomed to repeat it. Well-weathered friends, yes, indeed. Those who do not learn their history, they are doomed. Hell, you're already doomed. You're 1/2 of wealth in this country. Half of you don't even know how to create apps. You're not creating apps. You're not creating formulas. You're not even in certain circuits of what's that? Being electricians, being plumbers, being doctors. I see more white doctors than I do black doctors. I see more white nuclear physicists than I do black nuclear physicists. I don't see any scientists. Can y'all even name any scientists? I sure as hell can. One of them is George Washington Carver. He's a scientist. Caroline Parker, she's a scientist. Edwin Berger, he's a scientist. Shall I go on? These people changed the world in its entirety. But we're so caught up in getting the bag. Hell, I need a bag. As a matter of fact, I want all y'all to give me $100 right now. I'm just playing. Just playing. But do like and subscribe to the channel and hit that like. Yeah.
And I'm not the rabbi, I'm the instructor here, though you can call me the authority. And I would like to play your words, Candace, and I hope you'll remember this.
It turns a lot of people into extremists overnight, and they become very extreme in their language. It turns just saying that
20 seconds into your video, you make the comment about it being, I believe that's the time space, you make the comment to a moderate stance and everything else is extremist. And what I'm trying to explain to you is that once, and I hope once you see the IDF film, we can have another dialogue.
Well, no, I'm just saying that.
Wait, what are you saying, Bridget? You saying that the what lady that created the CVAX? Oh, yeah. That one. Let me go back to the one of it. She is right. Let me get rid of some of these apps. Okay. Who did I say? Caroline Parker. Is that the one? Caroline Parker. There's also a Lewis Howard Lattimore. Lewis Howard Lattimore. He's a scientist. There's so much to study, so much to learn, but we don't want to learn it. She is. Alice Ball, she's a scientist. I'm not making this up. Google. I'm not making this up. I wouldn't make stuff up. I'm too old to be messing around with people like this. Well, I'm not that old, but and I'm not old enough, but I'm wise enough to know that what happened to us was strictly a part of, we were strictly a part of what Dr. Claude Anderson would consider us a game. A game that we were totally played. We have been totally played, and pretty much we played ourselves. We don't want to look at our history anymore. Not the young ones, no. And the millennials, I'm not so sure. The millennials try hard as hell to figure, oh, I'm close to millennial. I'm an 80s baby. I was close to being a millennial. But since I'm a Gen Xer, I figured shit out a long time ago. This system that we're living in, that we are under, is race-based. It's about enriching yourself. And white folks really do know how to enrich themselves. How? By stealing your resources, taking your resources. Shall we remind ourselves that what Dr. Claude Anderson said was true about being locked in box in a plague of capitalist society, being cattle at this point, because we don't seem to know who we are. We don't seem to know who we are at this point. We don't know if we're African American, which I don't know what that is. We don't know if we're Black American, which I don't know what that is. Honestly, we should ask ourselves, who are we? Are we Moors? Are we indigenous? Are we Israelites? Who are we? One cat had the nerve to ask me, why do you like doing one-liners? I said, because I don't like to waste words and breath over people who don't have an understanding and a knowledge of self. I've been doing this for 10 years plus, and I get sick and tired of people going about the same way, the same things over and over and over again. It's just like what my man, OG, he came up on here last night and said it perfectly. He said it perfectly. Now I'm paraphrasing. You are who you are. You are who you claim. But do you do research on what you claim to be? No, you don't. You just are hoping to get what you are being owed, and quite frankly, they don't. America does not owe you anything. You have to earn what you literally have to earn it, because they are not going to give it to you. They're not going to give you reparations. They're just not going to, because you're calling yourself something that doesn't even exist. Because they believe that your kind doesn't exist. They labeled you that way. But the wonderful thing about this generation is that they're waking up entirely, and they're asking questions, just like then when they ask questions about the Bible, just like they ask questions about some forms of when it comes to the court system, when it comes to pregnant, abortion, which I don't mess with that. I don't mess with that side, abortion, because I am pro-life, but I'm also pro-choice. Hear when I say this: if a woman is being raped, beaten, she ultimately has the choice to either keep the baby or terminate it. This is hard. This is harder on everybody else, because people seem to believe that since I am married to you and I am not the father of this child, yet I believe in morals. I believe in truths. I believe in ethics. Not quite, brother. I don't claim something that I know I'm going to go against. I never claim anything. If I don't believe in cheating and I go to cheat the next night, then I'm a hypocrite. Let's go to the chat. we're calling ourselves something that they gave us identically. That's why we haven't gotten reparations. It's like that.
That I do think that when anything, horrific happens, it turns a lot of people into extremists overnight, and they become very extreme in their language.
You have judged.
You've not let me finish my statement. Okay, I've let you talk very much. What I have said is that when anything happens, what tends to happen after that is people become very extreme in their rhetoric. And actually, there is a really good example. Is it Joel over at Breitbart who wrote something very extreme following October 7th online? And then a couple of days later, he wrote a long paragraph apologizing and saying why he was emotional, why his rhetoric was extreme, and what he actually wants to accomplish. He recognized his own emotion. And people get very extreme when they're emotional. It's understandable. But when they are in that emotion, they start to perceive other people who are actually saying what they've always said as somehow attacking them or saying something that's wrong. And then usually, the scales fall from their eyes the more distance there is from the actual event that took place, and they're able to hear things more rationally again. That is all that I was saying with Tucker, is I haven't really moved any of my stances whatsoever. And that is why people are bothered. Whether you think that's understandable or not is not going to change things. I do want to get to this, though, because like I said, we're not going to agree on Rabbi Shmuley. We're not going to agree on his daughter. I'm not going to agree on your interpretation that my defense of myself is somehow anti-Semitism. I intend to keep defending myself against somebody that I, view to be absolutely despicable. And actually, what I will say is that in terms of anti-Semitism, I think a lot of it stems from what I would say is individuals feeling that amidst their own communities, let's remove Jews from this. If a Black person does something wrong, I immediately call it out on my show. I've said tons of things about Black people acting like thugs. I've stood up against Black people when they were using racism, basically just to absolve themselves from any critique. But when it comes to the Jewish community, it's very odd, I think, to watch the indefensible get defended, right? The indefensible get defended. Like what Rabbi Shmuley did over the last 2 years, Black people acting like thugs. Amidst their own communities, let's remove Jews from this. If a Black person does something wrong, I immediately call it out on my show. I've said tons of things about Black people acting like thugs. I've stood up against Black people when they were using racism, basically just to absolve themselves from any critique. But when it comes to the Jewish community, it's very odd.
Yeah, Candace. As a matter of fact, that's right. That is what you made a career doing. That is exactly what you've done from day.
Which guy? The one on the screen or the one talking? You talking about the one on the screen or the one talking? If you're talking about the one on the screen, I guess it's some rabbi dude that she's talking to. Quite frankly, I do not know.
One, and I got a question to ask you, little girl. How'd that work out for you? Damn! How'd all that boot licking and ass kissing and don't worry, boss, sit back, boss, I'll go after them niggers for you. How'd that work out for you, Candace? I'll show you how it worked out for you. It worked out like this. I'll show you how it worked out for you. It worked out like this. You spent all that time. Well, don't worry. Why, take a look at how I treat Black people. I don't respect them. I have no problem calling them out. They're acting like thugs. How'd that work out for you? Now that we're at the other end of it, how'd that work out for you, kid? Did you ever get that pat on the back and the star on the forehead you was looking for? Did you ever get that acceptance? Or were you the only dummy in the room who didn't recognize and understand that your days were already numbered? Were you the only one who didn't get it? Were you the only one who didn't recognize? Were you the only one who didn't see it? Because we saw it. I certainly saw it. We saw how it was going to end for you. We saw how it was going to go for you. And it appears that the only person who didn't know, the only person who didn't see, the only person who didn't get it was you. You're the only one. You spent all that time.
The person talking right now is Mr. Jason Black of the Black Authority, which Doll Eyes hates. Doll Eyes hates Jason Black. And, you know, she has every right to. You know what I'm saying? Because he talks with authority.
Doing that. Thinking that you were buying something. You thought you were buying protection. You thought you were buying provision. You thought that you were buying some special dispensation. In other words, you told yourself that you were buying a permanent seat on the porch with the house niggas next to Massa. That's what you told yourself you were doing. And lo and be damn hold. As predictable as the sun rising in the morning.
Well, what do you expect them to do? Corey Holcomb used to say, when the paper get low, the hungriness show. Well, in this case, she is very educated, and I guess she had money before she came into fiction. And according to her, she couldn't find no black people who were intelligent enough for her, so she ended up finding her white little sugar daddy. Oh boy. And some people tickle me pink. Some people think that their money is going to be plicitous to what's going on in their life. If they get fired, oh well, I'll go to another job. They know who you are. Now I have no doubts that, you know, her channel personally. As a matter of fact, I just came up to a personal clue. How many of you would like for me to interview Mrs. Candace Owens? How many of you would like to see me do that? I have not followed Candace Owens like that to give my full opinion. Yes, it is quite obvious. That's what I thought. But anyway, I have not. However, the clips that I have seen recently, I agree of what some statements she has made. And what statements are those? Huh? What statements are those? I do, however, find it interesting that black men don't like her simply because she's married to a white woman. Ha 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 ha. Bridget says, I don't care what she has to say at this point. That's my girl right there. That girl. Go for it. Interview her. You want me to interview? You want me to really interview her? She ain't coming over here. Oh, wait a minute. I said the exact same thing about the Queen Maker. She came over, but she's not a figure. I mean, Prince is not a figure like that, but she's coming close. Possibly maybe a few more years if she keeps making noise. She's going to be that person. Yes, she will. If she keeps it up. But I got something else to show y'all. Remember when she was buck dancing and cooning at the summit a few years ago? You remember this one? This one's fun. Let's watch it.
Has normally been the places where gentrification starts first. Okay, so that was my point. I had a question for both of you young ladies, and you and Candace, we spoke many times, and you're a brilliant young lady. But my question to you is, how is it that you can support yourself? I mean, that you can support and align with a constituency that will not denounce white supremacy? So that means your son or daughter, or or any of your brothers or any of your family members, if they are caught out there by a policeman who is in a covert, undercover white supremacist and get gunned down, this constituency will have absolutely nothing to say about it.
Please let me answer this question. Please let me answer this question.
And we can't, and although what you're saying is a lot of the things that you're saying are absolutely factual, a lot of the things that you're saying have merit, but I can't even get to that before I address the
it right now. I will address
for young
it right
black
now.
lives.
I love it.
We will not
I love
speak
it.
up on it at all.
Love this question. I will address
all of the
it.
things
T.I.,
that you
I love
spoke
it.
on, from opportunity zones.
I love that we're talking about white supremacy.
Okay,
I'll answer the question.
I say, excuse me. I didn't interrupt you. If I may. You talking about opportunity zones, and I will never have anything negative to say about the financial benefits, the tax breaks that come from the Republican Party. I'm a rich person, and I appreciate you dig what I'm saying?
I'm Negro rich.
Hey, listen, I appreciate all of the different tax breaks and the opportunity zone benefit, but
it's called a crooked clock is right.
Right.
Right. I get that, but what we must understand when we're talking about opportunity zone, and we're giving the credit to the person who pushed that legislation forward, which it started with Tim Scott, a black man who happens to be a Republican out of South Carolina. That's who wrote the legislation and presented it. However, the present president, if you can call him that, he did allow it to go through. But that had to, in order to benefit from opportunity zones, you have to have capital gains taxes. It ain't many black people in these opportunity zones
but they
that have capital gains taxes to be able to.
Ooh, was he right? Now I'm gonna switch it from Prince Ella to T.I. Was he right? We are 1/2 of 1% of the financial wealth in this country, are we not? Dang, there's some haters out there. There's some straight haters. T.I. be talking out of his ass. He owns real estate, my dear. No matter how bad you hate him, he owns a part of real estate. So do many other rich black folks. However, there's some other work that needs to be done. I mean, I didn't come up all this way for you to come out with, not a coding line, but everybody got a liquor, something liquor. I gotta make my own liquor. The Trill. Has anybody been to the Trill Burger, to the Trill House to get a burger? Has anybody been to the Trill House? Please. While I go, my tooth is killing me.
To reap the benefits of these things. Therefore, there will be billionaire corporations, other people who ain't from these communities coming in here building shit that we don't need, doing shit that don't help us, but they do that so they can shelter their taxes. Now, I've been investing in opportunity zones all my motherfucking life. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be damned if anybody gonna benefit from it, and it ain't gonna be me. So, but I actually know the need of the community. you have these systems in place, but the people who have the most readily the most ability to take advantage and who are readily able to take advantage are the people who have absolutely no genuine interest to do anything to support this community that they're coming into. They have there's no real tangible investment. They're just doing it to shelter their tax dollars.
So thank you, Tip. Well, hold on, Katrina. I want Candace to talk about your first point, and then Katrina, you respond to the second point.
All right, so to tackle the white supremacy thing, your question was a fallacy because you said you insinuated that he has not denounced white supremacy.
He hasn't.
Somebody please go to his Twitter feed right now. Right now,
He
go
said,
back to
who
the
is the
shootings.
KKK?
He said, no, because we got to tell the truth. I do not
who
stop.
is the
Don't
KKK?
now you're cutting me off, right? There we go. Now we're even.
What he said was that.
So listen.
What he said was that there was good.
No.
on both
Let me
sides
finish.
of white
Stop.
supremacy. That's what
Because
he
you guys
said.
are so
That's not
hung
what he
up
said.
on
That's not what
Charlottesville,
he said.
and nobody heard the entire clip. I want to talk about why we get manipulated. I'm being serious, guys. I'm not even trying to make this like a contentious moment, because this is literally why Black America loses right here. Because we allow people with cameras to go hear a whole speech, like they do this to me all the time. They take out a couple of sentences you said, and they create a whole new headline. And people that were not there get incensed and get emotional and don't actually go back to hear what was actually said in full context. They do it to me all the time. I know they do it to Trump. He has denounced white supremacy so many times. It's something north, somebody counted, of 24 times, and it's on his Twitter feed. So if you want to fact check me, go back to a couple of weeks ago when the shootings happened. He said, America is no place for white nationalism and white supremacy, and it's an issue that has to be tackled. I'm paraphrasing. You can go find it.
Although
so I
he calls himself a nationalist.
He
calls
secondly,
himself a nationalist.
Stop. You can fact check me. I'm either lying to your face. You can go on Twitter right now. You can do it live.
So which
secondly,
you want us to believe? The first thing he says, or what he says after the media comes after
No,
him?
I'm talking about
because the first thing he said was that
Tamika, you're asking a different question than T.I. did. T.I. said, "How can you work with an administration that has never denounced white supremacy?" You're talking about Charlottesville.
I'm talking about talking points that come out later. But what he starts with is racism. That's what comes out his mouth when he starts.
See?
And let me tell you something. How many mass shootings by white supremacists?
And let me tell you why the black vote is the easiest vote for Democrats to keep for the last 60 years. All they have to do to get our vote, let me tell you something. If people know what you fear, you are the easiest person to control. The Democrats have figured out that Black America is emotionally responsive to the word racism. She says racism, you jump up and you start cheering. You haven't even listened to what I've said to rebut it, okay?
Cheer. But it's the
100%.
Wait.
The biggest issue, let me finish. The biggest issue facing Black America is not white supremacy. When Trump said there were good people on both sides, he was talking about the fact that some people that were in the Charlottesville rally, and he could have paraphrased that better, he could have said something better, literally came there because they don't believe that statues should be torn down, okay? Other people came there because they were upset that amongst the people that came there to watch the statue be torn down were also white nationalists. So what he meant was there were some people that were just there using their First Amendment right. There were some people that were there to respond to the white nationalists, and a big mess happened. I'm not trying to defend him or relitigate a situation. I'm saying that being hung up on that is allowing you to not look at an administration that is tackling so many issues in Black America right now. I do not consider myself a Republican. I definitely am not a Democrat, but Trump woke me up. I used to be liberal. Trump woke me up to the idea that we're being manipulated by the word racism every 4 years.
So wait.
They call everybody racist.
All right. We're gonna get into this because what I'm concerned about is how is that any different than the fear that Trump has created in poor whites? The fear that Trump has lifted in poor whites, that Black people and poor urban people are their problem.
Right.
When did Trump ever say that? That's a fallacy. When did Trump ever say Black people are the problem?
Make America great again. That's when he said it.
Guys,
I'm not on the panel, so I want to make sure.
That was Ronald Reagan's slogan. Was that racist when Ronald Reagan had it as a slogan?
Yes. What time?
It was.
Yes. Let me ask you.
So that
please
slogan
answer
is
this.
racist.
Please answer this. I have a question.
Wait.
Please just allow me just one outburst. Please. I have a question. When you say make America great again, which period are we talking about? The period when women couldn't vote? The period when we were hanging from trees?
I'll answer.
Or like the crack era? Which period in America are you trying to make America like
So
again?
I actually think that I would totally rock a hat right now that said make Black America great again. Because Black America.
Make America.
Before,
We're talking about make America. That wasn't the question.
I am answering your question.
Which period was America great that we're trying to replicate? Which era was it? Tell me.
I think I'll answer your question.
Tell me.
I'm ready to answer your question.
Which era was it?
What?
Which era was so great?
Here's the thing that you guys are forgetting. America was actually one of the slavery was all over the world. All over the world. America was. No, I'm not saying it's okay. So why are you saying, oh?
Hey, man.
America was one of the first countries.
I want to like you so bad.
I'm trying to answer your question.
Smart. I want to like you so much.
I can't answer the
I want to
question.
hear you. I want to be able to hear them. I want to be able to hear
If I can't
them.
answer the question and you're just gonna boo when I say slavery was all over the world, which is a fact. Why are you booing a fact?
Because you're making light of.
No, I'm not.
You're making light
I
of
haven't
the
gotten into my points.
enslavement
I'm not
of
making
people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing you
I haven't
breeze
even
over.
finished the sentence. How am I making
You
light of
started
anything?
with some bullshit.
Which era was it? You started with some bush. Oh, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Quick, little Jewel. Shall we love thy enemies? And ladies and gentlemen, when I say enemies, I'm not just talking about white folks. I'm talking about these bougie ass black folks too. Who are we supposed to? Are we supposed to love those who hate themselves? I mean, what are we doing? Let's start off with this. Has anybody seen Mississippi Burning? Has anybody seen Mississippi Burning? Turn this off. Mississippi Burning was a great movie. Hold on one second. Anyway, Mississippi Burning was one of the most profound. Oh, I forgot this. Oh, I forgot about this person here. You can't listen to self-loiterer. I don't know what that means. When my father, I think when I was, 5, maybe 6, he took me to go see that movie. Now, up to this point, I didn't know what a slave movie was. I didn't know what a slave movie was until I watched it. And that wasn't a slave movie. That was more of a hatred type movie. A person that hates themselves. Well, here's the thing. Oh, Kira. I don't want to butcher the name. When you grew up most of your life with money and your parents were influenced by white elitists or people who were in that position or people who follow them who were in position to be in position, sometimes that happens. And they all say the same thing. Well, you don't have any excuse. You can do whatever it is you want to do. Oh, really? So if I can become the president of the United States, right, without all the outside or all the inside influences that say that we can make you president if you do this, and this, and talk about this, and this. You're not allowed to talk about black struggles. You're not allowed to talk about being competitive in a world where the minorities, the minority of people from different countries hover over you and just are given resources. That's just not what I want from my people. I want them to strive and get shit done. I want them to strive and do right for themselves. James Brown did it. James Brown did it. Little Richard did it. Michael Jackson did it. Prince did it. With all due respect, we all are dealing with self-hatred on different levels. That is true. However, that does not excuse in the propaganda of which we are still in. We do not have the excuse to just give in to those who are in power, so to speak. There's this thing called repetition. And when we have a lack of repetition and we have lack of self-respect, that goes a long way. I often say to people, hey, look, why don't we set aside our differences? Because there are a lot, that person is right. There are a lot of differences. But when it comes to building economically, an economic base for ourselves, that shouldn't be questioned. Chinatown is growing every single day. Chinatown has been here for years, decades. Here in Nevada, in New York, and I think in California. Growing strong every single day. Oh, I think I just started something in the chat. Remember, we're all one people here. We are all one. We are all one people in this small little universe called Earth. Please, by all means. But anyway, I don't doubt what you're saying. However, I do believe in attrition, and I do believe in listening to those who have an opinion, and I do believe in, and vice versa, listening to the people who have that opinion. Therefore, what are we coming to the table with? I don't care if you're black well, we're both black, but I don't care if you're dark skinned and the other person is light skinned. We are in the same battlefield. The dark skinned man has been hating the light skinned man for a plethora of centuries. You don't believe me? What is it? Delta Phi Delta Sigma versus the Sioux. Y'all remember school days, right? The Gammas that pretty much hated everybody. I haven't seen school days in years. But there was the Alpha, the AKAs versus the Sigma Delta. Come on now. the light skin versus the dark skin. That was in danger of itself. That's why I don't do fraternities. I don't do frats. There's something about, you have to do too much to be a frat brother. Too much. My oldest cousin used to be a frat. And what they did to him, oh no, I wouldn't want to do that. I might as well enlist in the army. I might as well enlist. A lot still do. Oh, y'all just going back and forth in the chat, huh? Y'all just go back and forth. Let me see what y'all talking about up in there. Akira, I know where my ancestors are from. Learn knowledge, which I know my birthrights, and furthermore, I know self. So don't hate the levels. And she goes, Nebraska, no answer. That's my point. Y'all, why y'all arguing in the chat? Y'all hit the like button. Like and subscribe to the channel. Yep. I got time tonight. It ain't that type of party. But some things need to be had. Some things need to be had in order to I don't want to start no fight, but check this out. One thing can be true. One thing or another can be true, right? If we had differences of opinion, right, and one was fighting over the other, we would settle it out by either duking it out by debating one another, or we can go the old-fashioned way, and I can just give you red gloves, and I could give Akira red gloves, and I can give Miss Nebraska some blue gloves, and we can go out in the backyard and we can settle it right then and there. Whoever wins goes out on top. And you know what? I can say this. Some of us do think individually. Ain't no doubt there. And you know why we think individually? Because of the information that is being. No, let me not lie. It's not about the information. Well, it's kind of is the information, because we do Google a lot of shit that is Googleable, not realizing that every bit of information that's on Google. First of all, who owns Google? Can anybody tell me who owns and controls Google? It's the same one that owns and controls. Who owns Google owns YouTube. So what are we talking about here? Whoever owns YouTube owns Google. Whoever owns YouTube owns Google. Whoever owns Google owns 90% of the shares. We haven't even. Is there an app that we own? AKA CE, Conscious Energy. I know you're in the clouds watching. Is there an app that we own and control? Is there anything that we own and control? Other than a few measly little radio stations. What do we own? They are until one understands the crux of the problem, we can't start the race. Agreed. Now, what do you say? We don't own anything in America. We own some things, but we're not we're not a family. We're not compacted like Chinatown is, like Koreatown, like Corktown, like part of Mexico. There's a Mexican town. You know what they own? Tire shops. Tire shops and restaurants. You don't believe me? Come down to Vegas and I will take you to Spring Mountain. I will take you down Spring Mountain and I will show you what they own and control. I will show you. And they don't, and you know what the suave thing about it? They don't have to vote. Why is it that we have to vote and they don't? If we want to be technical here, Jesus Christ, we only control them, Microsoft or somebody. Y'all making some good arguments. Tire shop. Yes, they own tire shops. Yes, they do. There was once upon a time where we owned airports. I believe there was an airport in Atlanta that we used to own. There's a piece of real estate here in Nevada. There was a hotel here in Nevada. It's called the D Hotel. Who owned the D Hotel? Let's check it out. Who owned the D Hotel? What's the history of the D Hotel? It's a very nice hotel, by the way. The hotel is a first did. Some white dude now owns the hotel, but who was the original? Derek Stevens. Yep. Some white dude owns the hotel now, but once upon a time, it was owned by a black man. You can't own anything until we own our minds. You know what? I like that. I like that. Now we're cooking with the minds. Now we're cooking with, well, guess what? It all starts here. Now, I have a question to ask you. I have a question to ask you all fine young women here. I don't mind men in the presence. There's only one man here, and that's TJ. But I have a question for you. Would you rather continuously have discussions about this very same thing? And we have different discussions about owning our minds, and particularly knowing who we are as a people. And I believe that Pan-Africanism can solve all that. Pan-Africanism has any and everything to do with group economics, a group family-based structure. Why is people so afraid of Pan-Africanism? Why are people so afraid of it? I mean, would you rather have that, or would you rather be fighting over cats and dogs every day? Would you rather have this discussion, or would you rather have discussions over who, we're fighting cats and dogs and about, I don't know, a woman being submissive every other day. Black people, we need to make up our minds. Oh, I am waiting. I am still waiting. They got the people in the chat got my blood boiling, boy. Cause they talking some shit in the chat. The U.S. Constitution still hasn't been revealed, and we're in 2024. Well, you got 2024. I'm just messing with you. We have to do, all we have to do is ignore the ridicule, well, whatever that word is, online, and the lies. Which I do agree. When will Black Americans, wait, see, there you go with that line. There you go with that line again, Black Americans. I'm just messing with you. When will we Black Americans, I would rather say American African, but whatever, wake up and rise like Hades and take our country back? Here's the thing. We all know the story of 1908. We know the story about 1908. However, is it 1908, 1808? 1908. We all know the story of that. However, yes, Haitians conquered and basically beat the shit out of 3 countries. One of them, Napoleon, was in. But then afterwards, they had to apologize. And half of their shit got took. It's the same thing with the Black Panther Party. Who broke up the Black Panther Party? A man named J. Edgar Hoover. He broke up that bitch and they never were the same again. Now you got Black Panthers scattered all everywhere. But they learned their lesson. They don't come to nobody's rescue till it's time to come to, till it's time of the call to action. Until they are called to action. Huey P. Newton, love him. Cleaver, love him. It was just 2 brothers at the time that had their own differences, and then, of course, came out with the betrayals and stuff like that. But hey, shit happens. How many of y'all are Haitian Americans in here? How many have Haitian American in their blood? How many of you have Jamaican in their blood? How many of you have African in your blood? Of course, we're African. We're going to be African, right? I don't know, but in a few minutes, I gotta go pick up some things, but I will be right with you. I'm not gonna stray far. I just gotta go pick up some things from the store, you know, husband duties. But I just need to know, are anybody in here African, Haitian, Jamaican descendants? If you have Irish in your family, if you have Chinese in your family, just want to know. So while y'all sit there, I have a famous comedian that wants to say hi to everybody. Y'all remember Eddie Griffith?
Mexicans, y'all don't know how good y'all got it. You know, even though they got all this shit, they fucking with Mexicans now with this DACA shit and all this shit. And they fucking with really the brain drain that comes from India and other motherfucking nations that got a better education system come over here to get educated and run these motherfucking companies. Nigga, they fucking with the Mexicans, nigga, for some fucking reason. I'm here to tell you, nigga. Mexicans, y'all don't know how good you got it. See, when white people fuck with y'all, Mexico right next door. Yeah, you can walk home. Nigga, if Africa was that close. Now you get what the fuck I'm talking about. Nigga, that first whip. Get the children, we are walking home. Get the children, woman, we're getting out of this motherfucker. Who do you think you are hitting me, you son of a bitch? I do not work for free, you motherfucker. My name is not Tyrone, it is not motherfucking Leroy. It is Shaka. Fuck you, get that woman, children, let's go. We are walking out this bitch. It'd be a mass exodus. And then white people, you would finally have your dream. And all white America, Confederate flags everywhere. Not a nigga in sight. This country wouldn't be shit. There would be no open brain surgery. We did that. There would be no open heart surgery. We did that. There would be no street lights. That's why they red, yellow, and green. Jamaican flag, nigga. If somebody white did it, it'd be red, white, and blue. You go on the blue. Music wouldn't be shit. There would be no blues, fourth-part progression. There would be no rock and roll. We created that motherfucking extension of the blues. That's right, white folks. We taking our shit back. You better go to Chuck Berry grave and find out who did this shit. There would be no R&B. There would be no funk. There would be no jazz. There would be no bebop turning into hip-hop nonstop. Motherfuckers going around the clock, nigga, until you drop. There would be no gospel worth listening to. All that be left, nigga, is twang, twang. Twang, twang. Twang, twang. She ran on with Petey, my favorite dog. I don't know where four-legged fuckers go. Nigga, suicide rate would go up 2,000%. The national anthem would not be worth listening to. Nigga, whenever we sing it, nigga, Whitney sung it so well, God rest that sister's soul. When Sister Whitney sung it, nigga, she sung it so well, it made a nigga feel like they really wanted us in this country. You understand me? The beginning of the baseball game, Whitney get to hitting that motherfucker. Oh, say, can you see? I see. By the dawn, early in the morning. Light it up, light it up.
Eddie, motherfucking Griffin. It's not about is he funny, it's about is he right? Is he on point? Yes. Get along to get along, huh? But can you acknowledge the shit that you stole? I mean, whole bunch of Elvis music. That's all I heard throughout the years. Elvis this, Elvis that. You stole from until fucking Black Dynamite revealed your true colors. Nigga, you stole all that shit from Chuck Berry, nigga. You stole all that shit from Chuck Berry. Rock and roll, your Poison, your Metallicas, your David Lee Roths, none of them, Red Hot Chili Peppers, none of y'all motherfuckers would ever exist if it wasn't for Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix, freaking Prince. But they had soul to their music. Y'all just gothic. Which some people need a little gothic in their lives just to get away. He forgot. He did say country. Watch out for that Beyonce and we. Oh, I heard that stupid song. It's like, and then Bo Duke had to say something crazy. The dude from Dukes of Hazzard had to say something crazy. But Beyonce, and believe me, I'm not a Beyonce fan, but you don't have the right to say nothing to that sister about what music's supposed to become. No, you don't have nothing to do. I'd rather listen to that 10, 12 times than to be listening to all that yeehaw crap. Anyway, you got the blues, you got hip hop, not rap. Big distinct difference. You got hip hop, you got this, you got that. They're more cowboy, black cowgirls coming out. There are more black cowgirls coming out. Boy, oh boy. I hate country, but hey, it is what it is. As long as we created it, as long as we stamp our approval on it, I'm good with it. I'm good. Just don't expect me if you're in my car, if I'm the Uber driver and you're in my car, it's like, let's listen to some Beyonce. That Beyonce shit does not get played in my car. I don't mind Jay-Z, but Beyonce, I can't stand that woman. But like I said, if it was between Taylor Swift, if you had a gun to my head and said you got a choice between Taylor Swift, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, or Beyonce, it's like, go ahead and play that goddamn Beyonce, bro. Go ahead and play Beyonce. I'd rather listen to "This is so crazy." Can't stand that shit. Anyway, shall we love our enemy? That is the question. Shall we love our enemies? Why don't you like me? I just don't like them. That's all. I don't even know what their names are anymore. I don't even look at them. I'm like, who? Kelly Rowlands is better than her. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. She's a bit more attractive in my book, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm going to turn this into a Beyonce dig. Wrong with you? I guess we can go further into this. I have no problem with this.
All we had to do was wait a minute, and the very same white supremacist males that you've been schmoozed up and booed up with all this time, those are the ones who went public to bounce your ass out the door as publicly as they could.
If anybody sees Mrs. Maria, please let me know. As a matter of fact, go ahead and give her the link so we can get this debate on.
Just that quick, just that simple, no fuss, no muss. Hell, they didn't even hear about an incident this week. It's just like, okay, she's done. She's done. We're cool on that. She's done. And pathetically, you sat here in front of this rabbi and pathetically thought that you were now gonna cash in all that goodwill. Well, hey, I've been on y'all's team all this time. I'm on your side. Don't you understand? I'm on your side. And they just sat up here and literally told you we're white. I know they keep saying we're Jewish, but we're white. And we say so. And you don't see anybody in the white media coming to your defense. The next time somebody tries to tell you there's a difference between being Jewish and being white, by the way, I couldn't help but notice there's no one in the Gentile media, if you will, who is riding to her defense either. None of them pointing out where the rabbi here is obviously just lying and making things up. They ain't coming to your rescue, baby. Where's your Fox News friends? They're not coming to your rescue. Where are they? All these folk that you thought you were getting in good with all this time, where are they? What she's doing right now, let me tell you exactly what Candace is doing right now. I'll tell you exactly what Candace is doing, exactly what she thinks she's doing. What she thinks she's doing is she thinks she's going to crawl back into her hole. She's going to get on YouTube. She's going to say, okay, Daily Wire has helped me to build a larger audience than I had. Now, all those people are going to gravitate over here, and I'm going to have a permanent power base. Well, I certainly think that she's going to remain influential, at least in her circles. And I certainly don't think she's going to be starving anytime soon. But let's understand, baby, what if this is just the beginning? What if this is just the beginning of them going at you and weighing down on you? What if it's just the start? She hadn't thought that over. What if this is just the beginning? So you can tell yourself you'll retreat to YouTube or Rumble or wherever you're going to pop up there next, and you'll take your following with you. She got like 3 million subscribers on YouTube. It's about to get put to the test. It's about to get put to the test.
Oh, yeah. Let's go to my brother from another mother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde. What do you have to say on behalf of this, my brother?
Owens is a paid Negropean. One thing you have to understand about the white power structure when you're talking about Candace Owens and Jesse Lee Peterson. Okay, one thing you have to understand, the white power structure through the government or through the corporate structure, they find influential Negroes and they buy them out in order to change the level of consciousness in Black America. Candace Owens was sponsored by the white power structure so she could begin to dilute the Black first narrative. Candace Owens and Jesse Lee Peterson, these kind of Negroes, these types of Negroes are found and funded.
I think Dr. Umar makes a valuable point. I think Candace Owens goes on white platforms and say disparaging things about the Black community all the time. She says the stuff that they want to say that they can't say, but she said for them, and they just put a thumbs up. They agree with it, and they say, see, here's what Candace Owens say. People like Candace Owens make it difficult for you to have a conversation with some of these people because they indeed make the situation worse. Sometimes they take that comment that they use to say that they're criticizing or critiquing the Black community and say some negative stuff that doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, I do understand that.
You are absolutely right. They will love her exposure. However, she has exposed herself. She has exposed herself entirely. Just like she did the last couple of years with this whole Hitler thing. Just as she believed that we should be voting Republican instead of Democrat, which don't make no difference at all. I mean, come on. Just the other day, I heard my boy Israel Bands talking about it. It doesn't matter because she has 3 million subscribers, and there are some there's a thing about white supremacy, and it is factually global. There's this thing about white supremacy, right? They let you get this way. They allow you. Underline the word allow. They will allow you to grow in stature just as long as you follow by the rule. That's all. You follow by their rules, you have no problems there.
You might want to, or everyone is able to critique your own community. But at some point, when you're critiquing the community, it sounds like you're just trying to drag us down, or you're just throwing us to the trash, or you're throwing us you're throwing us to the wolves, or you're stepping on us, or you're trying to make us seem horrible or seem worse than we were before. Or, that just doesn't make any sense to me. When you go on national TV and big platforms with millions of views and millions of subscribers and talk bad about the Black community, that doesn't help the Black community at all. All that do is put a paycheck in your pocket and have those people that want to say these things that some of them are scared to say or don't want to say, or they know there'll be repercussions of saying it. You go up there and you say it for them. So you become a mouthpiece for these people. So when he says she's being paid, I agree that she's being paid because she gets paid for a lot of the stuff that she go do. I've seen her recently being on a lot of Black platforms, and I haven't listened to her, to be honest with you, because Candace Owens is the type of person that when I hear talk, she's very disrespectful to my community, the same community that she's from. So I can't understand that. I understand that speaking truth is okay, but when you're not speaking, I don't consider what she's doing as speaking truth. There's a lot of stuff that she says that we don't agree with, or there's just not facts that she put it out.
And I don't mean to turn it into a whole Candace Owens bit, but I wanted to prove a point. Because she's doing the exact same thing that more likely Black folks would do. And that's get along with our enemy. It's like we have a viable opportunity to grow as one America, except one problem. Where is Black America? You have Chinese America, you have Asian America, you have Hispanic America, Russian America, but you don't have a Black America anywhere. When will it be our time to shine? Because I have not seen it yet. And I don't think in this lifetime we will never see it. It's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it, aka George Carlin, and he's a white guy. You have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why we have 1.5% of the nation's wealth for a reason. Why are we waiting for our time instead of just taking it? Because it's simple. You can take it. I'm gonna say it like this. Said Bridget, said she's like, right, why don't we just take it? Well, here's the thing, Bridget and Mrs. Nebraska. What are you gonna take it with? How many guns you got? Now forget about a gun. Do you have an army? Do you have a military? Do you have a military base? Do you have weapons? Do you have arsenal? Do you have arsenals? Do you have artillery? Do you have food, rations, flashlights? Do you have, and this is the one important thing, do you have allies? And I'm talking about the allies who will align with you, but do you trust those allies once we get what we need to get and we force ourselves to take back what we had or our ancestors fought, bled, and died for? Do you trust those Negroes? My point exactly I made earlier. It's a process. No, like I said, Black America could take notes from Haiti. What specific notes? Yes, I want to, you know what, you're right. I will 1804 your ass. But the mistake that was made is going soft and apologizing to the white power structure for the things that they have done. And years later, Haiti still owns America. And I don't even know how much. And you know what's so sad? Wycliffe Jean, what is he doing right now? Icon. What is he doing right now? And these are hip hop artists. What are they doing? What are they doing? Aren't they from Haiti? Just asking the question. Are these Negroes from Haiti? What are they doing? Chill. That's a whole nother story. No. My chill is in my coffee. Where are those Negroes? Avoiding jail now? Really? I could go down the rabbit hole on that topic. Hey, it's whatever. Just don't. You know better than to talk to me about owning some, taking some shit. I was like, I don't mind taking. We could take and take and take and take, but as soon as you run out of bullets, you're outgunned, you're outmanned, and you're outthought. Why do you think here in America they are waiting for you to pop off? They are waiting. Why do you think they have so many? They built so many caskets for you. Why do you think? Barbecue is doing what? Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Barbecue is doing it over there now. Sort of. I don't want another freaking barbecue. You know what I want? Liberation. Revolution. We don't even know what a revolutionary. We wouldn't know what a revolutionary is if we sniffed it. And I'm not talking specifically us and on this platform. I'm talking about those people out there. We can't even sniff a revolution. And for what? And for what? Own and control some shit first. Own and control some shit first. And I'll take it like this. What the lady said earlier. Own your mind first. and then come together as 4, as 6. I would prefer 4. Oh, okay. I see. Oops, my bad. My bad. But anyway, I gotta go do some shit. Fortunately, our special guest that was talking a whole bunch of chipper jabberish. I'm just playing. I was hoping that I would have a debate, but she didn't show up for a debate. So therefore, the question still remains. Shall we love thy enemy? And just in case y'all know what I'm talking about, let me play a little something here. Let me see here. Let me see. Where is it? Here it is. Shall we? And I'm going to end it in this. And I want you to again like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Become a member of the We-On-Loc Nation channel. I think it's like $1.99, $2.99, something like that. But I want us to close the show with this. And I love each and every single one of y'all that came and supported your bro. But I want to close with this. Shall we love thy enemy? When we were constantly bombarded with these people, these particular laws, the goalpost, remember the goalpost always is moved. Anywhere from Jim Crow to Dred Scott to Willie Lynch. And before I go, I want you to say hello to some fellas that want to come up to the platform and say hello to y'all. Well, their version of hello. Y'all have a good night now.
The Klan march may have been cut short, but apparently it helped membership.
Other than the Coke bottle, what's more recognizable than the white hood and robe and the flaming cross?
The government was intended to be of the white man, by the white man, and for the white man.
Interest in the Ku Klux Klan has swelled and then dwindled. The Klan's power always came and went in phases. Until at one point, the tactics used to gather Klan members together ultimately become the hooks used to drag them down.
The oldest Ku Klux Klan organization in the nation may be out of business.
But what's never gone away is the fear the Klan built its legacy on.
Preserve the racist!
Fear that's still here today.
They call themselves white patriots, knights of the Klan, and returned to the small Tennessee town where it all began.
This is Pulaski, Tennessee. And the Ku Klux Klan began back in 1865 on Christmas Eve, when 6 ex-Confederate soldiers met to form a social club. Its name was inspired by the Greek word for circle. Nathan Bedford Forrest was the Klan's first imperial wizard, and the hoods and robes were used to frighten Black people in their homes. But then Black people start voting, and the Klan and groups like it turn brutal. But the Klan went quiet just years later.
By 1870,
1922, all of the goals had been pretty much accomplished, so there wasn't really a need to don a sheet anymore, because you had your person, your guy at the State House who could make laws that would suit your purposes.
In 1915, Birth of a Nation became the first film ever screened at the White House. The book it was based on was written by a friend of then-President Woodrow Wilson.
You know, it's a 3-hour film that poses Black men as dangerous and violent, so which led to, you know, a decade of racial terror lynchings. And we see that narrative continues to this very day.
The film inspired another war veteran, William J. Simmons, who began to reignite the flames of the Klan, this time against not just Blacks, but Catholics, Jewish people, and the nation's newly arriving immigrants.
People are shocked to know that there were, 1 million people in the Ku Klux Klan around the country.
The Ku Klux Klan spread its poisonous influence.
But you had a lot of people, a lot of officials. You had governors, you had senators.
But by the 1930s, the Klan's millions had dwindled to thousands. Here's why.
As the New Jersey Ku Klux Klan rents the camp for one day, cameramen are not permitted to photograph everything.
While the Klan had a national organization, there were copycat groups who fought over funds, dragging each other into court and adding to the growing disgust of the public. The IRS investigated in 1944 and then demanded $500,000 in back taxes. That crippled the Klan, but not for long.
With the advent of the Civil Rights Movement and the Supreme Court order to desegregate in 1954, the Ku Klux Klan sprang back to life.
Robert Shelton's United Klans of America assaulted freedom riders and activists from Birmingham to Anniston. The White Knights of Mississippi were responsible for the murder of 3 civil rights workers. The Klan is responsible for the 1963 Baptist church bombing and the 1965 murder of mother of 5 Viola Liuzzo. The FBI infiltrated and cracked down on the violence, but violence wasn't the only issue.
You also have those nonviolent actions that were carried out by groups like the White Citizens Council. After Brown v. Board in places like Montgomery, Alabama, where I am, they immediately started these private academies. And to this day, they don't send their kids to school with Black kids.
I believe in nonviolence. I think that we should react and we should work and organize as white people.
David Duke tried to popularize a new type of Klansman. He tried to claim they were nonviolent. They were simply all about white people's rights. And he was photogenic, and he got a lot of publicity, and his Klan group started growing.
And then comes leaders like Bill Wilkinson and Fraser Glenn Miller Jr. The numbers were smaller than before, but the violence still left people dead. To investigate and go after the Klan, Klan March director Randall Williams attended several rallies.
There is an odd, happy white supremacy family atmosphere to some of this activity. If you go to a Klan rally on a Saturday afternoon, they're having a fish fry. It almost looks benign.
But the KKK's symbols made their members a solid target. And memberships, reams of propaganda material, assets, and bank accounts became liabilities that groups like the SPLC could use to take the Klan down in court. In 1987, Beulah May Donald won a $7 million lawsuit against the United Klans of America for their involvement in the death of her 19-year-old son.
No, I didn't want it to happen to nobody else's child like it has mine.
It bankrupted the largest Klan organization at the time. But the people who'd been attracted to KKK principles had already started to move on.
Beginning in the late 1970s, what we really see is that this sense of emergency shared by white power activists, and here I'm talking about Klansmen, but also radical tax resistors, white separatists, followers of Christian identity, neo-Nazis, and a whole bunch of other people. That sense of emergency and the sense of a shared frustration with the government brought people together in what they called the white power movement.
The KKK's robes and crosses are less popular now, but the tactics the Klan used to draw individuals in proved useful for decades. One key lesson: the Klan figured out how to use the internet back in the early 80s with Liberty Net. The new white power groups now know how to communicate without making themselves easy targets.
We have to remember that these activists are motivated by a sense that their actions are all that stands between them, their families, and the end of the world. They see racial demographic change as the end of the world, as an annihilation of everything that they care about. For them, it's a state of emergency.